Hey guys, it's Joey from American Collectors Insurance, and today on the Zoom call we have Mark Greene. Mark Greene is the host of the Cars Yeah podcast, and he's been doing it a long time, so I guess I'll let him kind of take over and give a little introduction.
Thanks for having me on your show here. It's good to see you. You and I have talked on the phone many times. You actually have a face. You're a real person.
Yeah, you too. There's a person.
Yeah, because of podcasting is pretty much all audio. I'm just a voice, a talking head, if you will. So, all right. Well, first and foremost, I'm Mark Greene. I'm the host and producer of the Cars Yeah podcast. It's I think it's the only 5-day-a-week automotive podcast that's out there. I've been doing this for 6.5 years. I just did, let me pull up my notes here, just interviewed my 1,686th guest.
Congratulations.
Ooh, yeah. There's a lady named Jennifer who runs the Porsche Experience Center in Los Angeles. So, and I love Porsches. That's my car of choice. So that was pretty fun. My whole podcast is geared around automotive, obviously, but motorcycles and trucks. And my mantra is inspiring automotive enthusiasts. That's my slogan. And what I do is I interview inspiring automotive enthusiasts. These are people who've learned to wrap their passion for cars, trucks, and motorcycles into their lives and into their careers in the hopes that together we can inspire automotive enthusiasts, people who wish they were having fun like we're having, into their careers and lives. And I just did a 1-hour talk with a young guy today who COVID kind of killed his job and he was looking for something new to do and he loves cars. And I spent an hour with him just asking him questions, trying to help him along. But I said, just listen to a lot of my shows. These are all people that have figured it out. What you're trying to do, they figured it out. I'd be happy to give you introductions to them. So that's the whole premise behind Cars Yeah.
Great. That is a wonderful premise. Maybe you can tell some of the people watching, like, how did you get your start in podcasting? Like, where does that come from?
That's a good question. So I graduated from college with a degree in advertising and business. And I got a job at an ad agency, small agency in San Diego, where I went to college, met my wife at UCSD, and started working at this agency and working my way up. And very quickly, I asked my boss, how can I make more money? And he said, well, you can bring in business. You can be an account executive and a creative guy. I said, okay, how do I do that? And he said, well, how about on Thursday, you come in wearing a suit and we'll go downtown. This is before computers. This is before cell phones. Yeah, kids, that actually existed. And so he said, we'll go downtown. We go into these high rises and we look for companies and we knock on doors and we go in and try to get past the gatekeeper, the receptionist who never let you go by. You'd always bring her flowers and donuts. And that always worked. Yeah. And so I learned how to sell and how to land accounts. And we were doing a lot of work for catalog businesses, real estate businesses, developers and things. One of the accounts I landed was a startup company. It was a company called Griot's Garage. And it was a car care business. There was only a few people working there. Pick it up. So I drove up there and I was driving at the time a 1984 Porsche 911 Cabriolet.
Oh, wow.
I always had the top down.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, beautiful car. I bought it used from a guy. And so I drove up and I parked right in front of the building and I sat there for a while. I figured, okay, if this is a car guy, he's going to be looking out the window, you know. Sure enough, he came outside. We met, we talked. I bought my stuff and he said, look, I'll give you a chance. I said, we have this new thing called a computer and we can do layouts on the computer and print pages out and we can make changes instantly and we interface with the printers, and his guy wasn't using one. So that's what got us in the door. And our firm, was Warner Design, we started designing his catalog. Well, so I did that for this long period of time. And then as things happened, things were changing. I wasn't really that happy there. And all of a sudden we had some disaster strike. My dad, who was 80 years old, fell and broke his neck. Ooh. And he had this really serious C2 fracture that the doctor said should have killed him or paralyzed him.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It was really frightening. And then my mother-in-law, my wife's mother, got cancer. Mm. This is all happening within a very short period of time. And then my wife was diagnosed with a large cell tumor growing in her leg. And so I just said, you know what? I need to take care of some family stuff here. So I left Griots. I was home with my wife. She couldn't even walk. So I had to carry her to the bathroom and bathe her and fix meals. At the same time, I just finished putting my daughter through college. So I was licking my wounds from that expense. And my son was away at a very expensive East Coast school. And I'm going, okay, for the first time in my life, I don't have an income. Now I had saved, so I had a pathway. So I had time. It's not like I had to panic, but I was panicking. And so my son came home from school and I said, what am I going to do? I got to figure out something I can do from home. You know, all this computer stuff. I was kind of techie, but not super techie.
Yeah.
And so he said, Dad, you know, you've been taking me to car shows and vintage races my whole life. What do I tease you about? You can't walk by somebody without talking to them about their business and their car. Why don't you do that? And I said, okay, how do you make money going to car shows and vintage races? You know? And he said, no, do it from home. Have you ever heard of a podcast? What's a podcast? And so he said, well, when I'm in school, I listen to these great shows. Why don't you make your own podcast? And I said, well, how do you make money? He said, well, you build up an audience and you sell advertising. And I went, okay, I can do that. I've sold advertising. I've done advertising. So within 3 months, I came up with a whole business plan. Right. I built my whole website. I built this whole philosophy and I just started calling people. I'm doing this podcast and I want you to be a guest. Everybody I called, I knew a lot of people. What's a podcast? Nobody knew what it was. Nobody ever even heard of it. And they're all like, why are you doing this, Mark? You ran a company. Why don't you go run another company? She said, give it a year and try it, see what happens. Well, that was 6.5 years ago and 1,683 guests ago. Last year, I did 13 episodes of my own Cars Yeah TV show. I produced my own show, which was on MAV TV and streamed. I get invited to go to car shows. They pay me to go to car shows now to give keynote talks.
Nice.
You know, I'm a spokesperson now for, well, your company. You're gracious enough to trust me to promote you. I'm now insuring my collectible car, which is my prized enjoy, my Orange Crush through your company.
Nice.
They're taking, you know, makes me feel comfortable that the car is safe and sound if something, heaven forbid, ever happened to it. But I don't speed and I don't do anything stupid. So don't worry. I've never had an insurance claim. I'm like the dream client for insurance companies, but that's really where it all came back around. And who knows what the future can hold? I mean, I get calls almost every week from people that I go, you're calling me? Wow. But it's fun. So I appreciate you letting me share that story because sometimes I really kind of pinch myself and go, wow, I can't believe I get to do this. This is so cool.
Well, great. Thanks for sharing. Why don't you tell some of the people how they can follow you and find you and especially your podcast?
Okay, that'd be great. I'm easy to find. You can go to Cars Yeah, CarsYeah. It's not yay, it's yeah, carsyeah.com. I have a full website. All of my guests are there, so you can find all my guests and listen to their shows. The way most of my listeners listen is on their mobile podcast device. Every mobile device that you buy has a podcast app. You just tap on it, you type in Cars Yeah or Cars Yeah Mark Greene, you hit subscribe, and my shows will come to you every day. 5 days a week. You can listen on the road, wherever you might be. So you can take Cars Yeah with you and take all these wonderful, inspiring automotive enthusiasts wherever you're going. And also go to my website and click on the free book button. I'll send all your viewers a free ebook that's titled Filler Up. It's a cool little book that I created with cool pictures of gas filler caps. Yeah, they can be cool, with some great quotes from my guests. And what that does is it gets your name in the hat because I do giveaways all the time. This week, I'm giving away 3 books on Cars Yeah. So you can go there and your name can be in the hat and you can win something. So that's how you find Cars Yeah. Of course, follow me on all the social media, Twitter, Instagram, Cars Yeah, 2 Facebook pages, Mark Greene, Cars Yeah. Let's talk cars.
Well, yeah, thanks, Mark. That's great. Thanks for giving that information. Hey, it was really great talking to you and sitting down, and we hope to do this again sometime.
All right. Thank you, Joey. I'll see you down the road.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mark.
Take care.